Hi, how are you guys? I read the quote, the greatest lies are often told in silence. In my personal life, I've always kind of abided by the idea of ask no questions and I'll tell you no lies. While, telling bold-faced lie is what most people refer to as lying. Lying by omission or leaving things out is another form of lying and not telling the truth. For me personally, I remember a lot in high school, it would be, my parents would ask me what I was doing that night, and I would say I was going to a friend's house for dinner. I would leave out the fact that after that I was, going to go to a party and drink a quarter gallon of vodka or something like that. Maybe they didn't want to hear that, and I knew that, personally. When they asked me how my night was, I would say fine. I would leave out the part where I puked behind a bush and had to find a ride home with someone I didn't know and crawled into bed and everything was spinning. While they didn't ask me specifically, and I didn't lie because I told them, the truth, I went over to my friend's house, I just left things out, those were still, bold-faced lies. I remember times where my mom asked me if I took $5 from her purse. No, I would reply, but I would leave out the part where I took $20. It's the same idea, I just, changed the truth and warped the question, worded it in my own way so it worked in my favor. For a lot of people, the biggest lies are the ones they don't talk about. If your boyfriend or girlfriend asks you how your day was, and you would just spend it sleeping with someone else, and you say fine, they don't ask you if you spent the day sleeping with someone else, but you leave that part out, and that is a giant lie. Which is why I agree with Mr. Stevens in the greatest lies are often told in silence. What people don't say is oftentimes more powerful than what they do say. The fact that you're leaving something out probably means that it's more important than what you are saying, and that's the biggest part of telling the truth. Truth is not just what's said, it's the actual truth. Truth is a real, viable thing, and leaving parts out in your story and in the truth are just as bad as lying. Thank you guys very much.
It has to be like these and good for pretty good.
The gardens also.
Anybody walking out?
The big one? Bake it? Yeah.
You just wanted to say no. You got half your bubbles
Really? They have not asked.
So good.
Did you know that Washington, D.C. was built in the shape of a pentagram? Because the secret society, the Illuminati, planned it to look like a pentagram. Five-spoked star. If you look at an aerial photo of Washington, D.C., there's a pentagram on top of a big sign. That's the symbol of the Illuminati. And they actually planned Washington, D.C. to be built in that symbol, like all the streets and the skies. And if you look at aerial photographs and connect the dots, it makes a pentagram and I'm just telling you that.
All right, John, the greeting's a little bit awkward. You kind of use the quote as your attention device. I like the interpretation that you have. I also kind of like the ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies idea. A lot of the stuff that you have in the speech you use as an introduction probably should have been your supporting material. There's not really much structure to the ideas that you're talking about. Once you get started on the subject, you just kind of plow through it, and so it needs a little bit more structure and development. The presentation, it's pretty easy to hear you. I thought you had a nice relaxed tone while you were speaking that kind of reflected some of the personal issues that you're discussing. You have a few you-knows and ums that are awkward. It's a short speech, and you're awfully dependent on your notes for such a short speech, and those notes limit your gestures and your eye contact with the audience a bit. I wouldn't say you look stiff, but maybe a little bit limited. If I'm just listening, I think it comes across a little bit better. And you had a pretty clear exit line. Thank you.